Alright, hi, I'm Jen.
I'm Dee. Welcome to warpedlore.
Today we're going to talk about some local, I guess it's kind of local lore, local history. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Historical spookies.
yeah, kind of historical spookies. It's kind of like a few different things all mashed together because none of them is a very big story on their own. But we're going to talk about Coventry Parish, St. Paul's, Crybaby Bridge. I think that's it, right?
And John Wesley Church.
Oh, John Wesley Church and Annie Connor.
Annie Connor.
Yeah, it's all kind of, we're lumping it under the same basic topic because they're all kind of related. We're going to start with Coventry Parish Church. It was built between 1785 and 1788 in Rehoboth, Maryland, which is like right up the road. It's kind of like between your house and mine, isn't it? Or is it past Westover? No, it's between Westover and Marion, right? I don't know. It's not that far from either of us. The church is a 76-foot by 56-foot structure, and at the time it was the largest Episcopal church on Maryland's eastern shore. Eventually, by 1890, 1900, somewhere around that time, the church had fallen out of use, and photos show it trending toward decline even then. It wasn't doing great. The church had been destroyed by a fire in 1911, and only the walls were left at that time. It's a full-blown ruin now. We've been there. It's on the National Register of Historic Places in Somerset County, Maryland. So, the folks who were members of that church ended up merging with the congregation at another nearby church called St. Paul's. This one here we go there fairly often. It's got a big, like, cemetery. How many is it? 3, right?
Oh my God, we were just talking about Quindaqua.
Yep, Quindaqua.
John Wesley.
Trinity. Is it Trinity Church?
Trinity Church.
St. Paul's and John Wesley.
Yes.
2 are across the street. I think it's Trinity and John Wesley are across the street. John Wesley Church is right down the road from my house. But those are across the street from this church. And then Quindaqua and St. Paul's, I believe, are the ones that are right behind St. Paul's Church. So St. Paul's Church is actually in Marion Station, Maryland, and that was built in 1848. They still have an active congregation today. They hold services every Sunday. It's an interesting looking structure. The church itself has changed and evolved a bit since the 1960s. I'm not exactly sure when, but the single-story congregation hall was added onto the original structure. So it wasn't there at first. It is now, as far as I know. I haven't been in a few days. It had been added onto again in the late 80s. Not sure exactly when again, but the fellowship hall that was a single story is now 2-story. They tried to keep it kind of in line with the original architecture and materials, or at least keep it similar. They're not convincing anybody though. Like, it just doesn't all look like original structure if you look at it. My humble opinion, what do you think?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Kind of cookie cutter pieced together.
Yeah. I mean, it's a cool looking church. I mean, humble opinion. There are 2 things about it that stuck out about that church to me personally. One is that it's got this iron, like a black wrought iron looking fence around it, and it's got an archway with like a gate.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
It is. And then the color of the church itself is like a blue-gray kind of color.
Yeah, stormy.
It's a really weird color for a church.
I think it looks like stormy sky.
Kinda,
Like,
yeah. It's just an unusual choice of color.
Church. I mean, I normally see white churches.
All the time. They're all white. But yeah, this one sticks out as unique in that way. The arch gateway, that's wrought iron. It's pretty. P-R-T-T-Y. It's pretty. It's from 1908. So when you're looking at the gate there, or the gateway, it says St. Paul's P.E. Church, 1908. Which, when I first saw it, I was like, what? This church was not built in 1908. I'm stupid. The gateway, the gate and the fencing, they were put up or donated, I think, in 1908. So, a lot of the graves there are actually very much pre-1908, so. The rumor has it that the oldest grave there is Benjamin Bettesworth, and that he died in 1850. I have never found that grave. Have you actually seen that
I've never actually seen that one.
No.
Now, which is that in St. Paul's or Quindaqua or
I
what?
don't know. See, that's what I'm looking at here. Is it's it has all those cemeteries, but I couldn't tell you. Oh, it's Trinity that's right behind the.
Okay,
church.
Quindaqua is across the way.
Yeah, Quindaqua was across
Okay.
the way with John Wesley. My bad. So correction there. But I've never seen this Private Benjamin Bettesworth. I've never seen it. I've been in, like, we've all been in there a lot in this cemetery. We've been in there daytime, nighttime, all times of year, and I've never come across it. Which I think some of the graves in there are damaged and hard to read, so maybe we have and we just don't know it, type thing.
A lot of them are really like blurred almost. That's how it looks because it's
just
so
washed
worn,
out,
so
yeah.
washed out. And it's sad. Most of the military people were in the Crisfield
Yeah, there's a,
cemetery, weren't they?
it's like it's maybe 10 miles from there at most. But it's like a few minute drive, basically, to this one cemetery she's talking about. It's a really big one in town of Crisfield, and they have like massive amounts of military graves in there. And I don't think they were all just Crisfield people, so it does seem weird that he was way up there. But I don't know. I mean, there's military people in all kinds of graveyards around here, but I totally see what you're saying.
So the whole point we like this graveyard, St. Paul's, is because there's like a legend that surrounds one of the families that's buried in Trinity, right? Is it Trinity?
Yep, because it's just beyond the fence, so I guess that
In
would
the
be
Trinity portion of the St. Paul's graveyard. It's several of her family members. I don't remember all the names, but we're going to talk about Annie Florence Connor. She was born in 1871. And Annie and her mother were in this horse-drawn carriage and away from home one day, and a storm started to brew. And the horse pulling the carriage got spooked on Mill Dam Bridge during the thunderstorm and fell into the creek. And the carriage was swept away by the current. Annie was swept away by the current, pardon me. She drowned there on July 29th. Her mother had tried to find her but could not, and her little body wasn't found until much later, washed up down the creek. And from what I was reading in one of the things online was she was horribly disfigured from the crabs and other creatures
people crab in
eating
that
on
creek.
her. We're a Waterman town, and
we actually know somebody else who a few years ago drowned in that same creek. And it kind of blows my mind because to me, looking at it, it doesn't look deep. It does not look like something you drown in. But it's like anything else, I guess. There's tides, there's currents, especially in crap weather. I can see it. The preacher who married me and my husband, actually, he's the one who drowned in that creek a few years ago.
I was trying to think of who you were talking about, but then when you said who married you, it went ding.
Yeah.
Oh man, I forgot about that.
A man who's been around water all his life knows how to swim. Just a bad combination of events,
So today we call this bridge Crybaby Bridge. I'm sure lots of towns have a Crybaby Bridge. You know how those urban legends go, so it's just like every town's got a hitchhiking ghost or
a creature from the forest, whether it's the Snallygaster, the goat man.
the goat man.
Yeah.
So, like if you're local around here, I was over Crybaby Bridge area fishing.
They'll know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
so.
We also have a piss bridge, for the record. It's the one by the hospital.
And yeah, it's not commonly known by any other name because that little bridge down the road from St. Paul's Church is what people call it.
I think its actual name is what? Mill Dam Bridge. That's the actual
Mill
name
Dam
of
Bridge
it.
is the real name.
But we don't have a mill down there anymore, or a dam. So, it's that little bridge now.
The story goes that you can hear Annie's cries being carried on the wind, and when you're on the bridge down by the creek, you can hear it Personally, I've never heard it while we were down there.
No,
I was hoping
we
I
tried
would.
really hard. I think we've tried like 3 or 4 different times.
Man,
usually when it's freezing cold.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Well,
I'm
what
gonna try
time of
again.
year did this happen?
July.
So maybe we need to do it in...
Ooh, the mosquitoes will eat your ass up down there, though, don't you think?
Yeah, because when I had to pee
Mm-hmm.
that day, they bit me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you got to squat in the woods when
Yeah,
you're
you
out
gotta do what you
spelunking.
gotta
It
do.
happens.
We forgot our shiwis.
Yeah. I was going to say that's why God made the guy who made shiwis.
Yeah, that's right. True story. Accurate.
The most unusual thing that we've seen is someone standing in their yard on their cell phone taking pictures of us while we're out there doing our little ghost spelunk.
And the thing is, I never would have been tipped off if they had been smart enough to turn off the flash on the cell phone that they were taking pictures with.
Yeah.
You would think that, I guess they didn't care that we knew that they were taking pictures. I don't know.
Maybe they thought we were up to no good and they were going to send that to the police.
Maybe. I
Who
mean, it
knows?
was like, it was definitely after dark. I can't remember. It was probably 11 o'clock, 10, 11 o'clock.
Yeah, we went all over Somerset County that night,
Yeah.
I think.
I guess we did look a little suspicious, maybe.
Yeah.
But still, that was the weirdest thing I saw that night, I think.
But the world should be used to weird people like us by now.
It should. It should indeed.
Yeah, and we're all pretty much in agreement. Like, we've all been there, like the whole group. Sometimes it's 2 of us, sometimes it's 5 of us. They're all too busy for us now.
Summertime. That's
Yeah.
alright, it's gonna cool off. Then what you bitches gonna do? You're gonna wanna hang out with us then.
Chicks before dicks, Emily.
That's
Chicks
right.
before dicks. Yeah, but we don't get any spoopy, she says, spoopy vibes.
I don't. It's a calming place to be, I think. It's pretty, it's beautiful. I'll put pictures or B-roll up
Oh
here,
yeah,
but
I got
it's
a
real
bunch
pretty.
too. I can put them in the Google Photos
Yeah.
folder.
And we'll post all over our Instagram some of these pictures and clips and stuff, so you can see it there as well. If you happen to be a YouTube Premium person who's just listening and not watching this video, you can always go and check it out on the Instagram.
So, coming back to St. Paul's Cemetery, Annie Connor's grave is there. The little girl who drowned in the creek. And like we said, like a bunch of her family members.
Yeah.
And I also remember we were talking about this the other day. She had a brother who also died by carriage.
In a horrible but different way.
Yeah. So carriages like to take out the Connor family.
Yeah, it's a good thing they're not in use much anymore because there's a lot of the Connor family still local in our area. I know a handful of them personally, but like not enough to have ever had the chance to go, hey, so about your ancestry, do you know these people, these Connors? I don't know any of them that well, so.
And we took lots of pictures of Coventry Parish too.
Yeah.
It's a brick structure, and it was 2-story, but now it's just a skeleton of a building. If I had to explain it.
It is, but
It's like half a
love
skeleton,
it.
but it is
I
beautiful.
love it. I don't know why, but I'm obsessed with it. I love it.
I love that they're actually trying to preserve it.
Yeah, they're
And-
trying. And believe it or not, it's always considering it's ruins that are literally just on the side of the road, it's always very tidy, very well kept, neat. Like somebody does mow and there's not trash everywhere, there's not broken glass and all
I
that.
will dispute that because I'm very, very upset with Coventry Parish or St. Paul's, whoever it is that maintains it. Now, when I called the Historical Society last year and told them there are trees that have fallen on these graves.
There is a small plot and it's kind of back near the wood line. And I'm not sure that they fell there. I think it looks like somebody cut a bunch of branches and limbs and trees down and just kind of pitched them on top.
Yeah, just
I mean, that's kind of what it looked like to me.
one of the trees I think broke in a storm.
One definitely did, yeah.
But they're crushing these graves, and I get it, it takes money to maintain a place, and the world is hard, but you got people who still go to that church who probably got families in there
Ask
Shoot,
for volunteers.
right? Get it cut up before I go down there with my damn trimmers and do it my damn
Right.
self. Like, it's really bothering me.
It's kind of sad. I mean,
I contacted them last year in July.
Dang. Well, it still looked the same
And
this
I
year.
contacted them this year in August because I couldn't believe that. And this was the email said, same branches on same tombstones as I sent last year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, exclamation point.
Right.
And I was going to sign it, very upset citizen. But I no, I wouldn't. But no, they get the point now. This is the second time, and if St. Paul's is in charge of caretaking it, then caretake it, dang it.
Right.
Gonna call them out. Gonna call them out.
I feel you. That, and I had another honorable mention. What was it? The church across the street.
Oh, John Wesley.
Is that John Wesley?
The one
right across the street from Coventry Parish. We went there, but I can't remember. It's a Methodist church.
Oh no, that's not John
Wasn't it
Wesley.
Methodist?
Yeah,
I can't remember, but I'll put some footage or clips of it up here. That one there, I can't remember the date either, but you'll see it in the pictures. That one there, I always heard that one got struck by lightning a number of years ago. Do you know when you're facing the back of the original or the main church building, not the buildings on the side, but the back of like the actual church? It's got those. It looks like lightning down the back of the building, and I think that's why people say that. But it's like newer grout in between the bricks. But so yeah, I've always been told that it got hit by lightning. I've also been told that that's how Coventry Parish caught on fire in the first place. I don't know. Like historically, I couldn't tell you. But that would be pretty terrible if it was two different churches right across the street. Like that's not the place to build a church, apparently.
And also, we'll put a picture of it in here. There's a house. Okay, here's Coventry Parish, and then there's a driveway, and the house is way down the lane. And here's a cemetery right across the street, and we were standing in the other cemetery. And I was just looking at all the trees, and they have these really well manicured hedges there. They do a great job on their hedges, but just through the hedges, I saw this creepy, wicked-ass tree. And I don't know if they purposely did it, because I wasn't about to walk up on somebody's property and examine their tree, although I was very tempted. I was very tempted to walk across the street with my happy ass.
Like, what's going on over here?
Right. Well, it's shaped like this, like an arch. Perfectly on this big-ass tree. I was like, oh, Jen, it's a fairy door. No, it's really cool. Like, I don't know if it almost looks burnt in from a distance, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I couldn't tell either.
If they torched a tree to make it look like that, shame on you. That tree felt that.
I don't know, it looks cool.
No, it does look really cool. Could be the tree was already dying. I need to mind my damn business. That's what it could be. But it's a really, really cool tree, and I just thought,
honorable mention for creepy things.
We're going there to see graves and stuff like that in the ruins, and I'm amazed by a tree.
I mean,
leave it at Diffie.
ADD.
ADD.
But yeah, they're all pretty cool little trips. I certainly don't suggest that you go, but if you do, please be mindful and respectful of the graves and the property.
Yes. No, and that brings me to the one side of the church. When you're in the cemetery directly behind St. Paul's, like right at Annie Connor's grave, if you look, they've got the most beautiful stained glass windows, but you can't see them because they've got really thick industrial, probably plexiglass.
Yeah.
Screwed right on there. Scrotumed. Screwed into the building.
Yeah.
And I guess that's so that the stained glass doesn't get damaged.
Yeah.
Which is really smart on their part, because I could see some juvenile delinquents or something just, that'd be fun.
Yeah, this church is it's one of those little country churches, so it's not really in town limits or where anybody's kind of close enough to keep an eye on it, but not really, So, now Coventry Parish, they do have an active church right across the street. They have houses kind of up and down, like even right real close to the ruins actually. So, that one there is fairly well looked after. Like, you're not going to sneak in there and go unnoticed, I'll put it that way. We got noticed, within an hour of being there one evening after dark. I think there's a caretaker or something who lives very close by. So, like, they didn't say anything to us. It was we were walking around with flashlights. It was pretty obvious that we were just checking things out and weren't up to anything, devious. But, and then St. Paul's is very much the same. So many people who live in that area go to that church. It's not really the place to fuck around and find out. That's all.
Another thing that I forgot to mention, and we forgot to mention, is that years ago we went there and we were snapping pictures of the church from all angles, and
we had a full spectrum camera at the time that we were using.
I couldn't think of it. Thank you. We got some really interesting photos. We still have some of them, I think.
Yep. Still got them. I'll put one up right now. It was broad daylight when that photo was taken.
Or the window.
Of the window.
Yeah.
Broad daylight.
You can look at the window and tell us what you see, but...
Yeah, tell me what you see.
Yeah.
Form your own opinion.
And let us know.
After a few days, maybe I'll get in the comments and say what I see. And we'll do the same thing. We'll put it up on the Instagram, too, so you can tell us there. But, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and don't forget YouTube.
This is YouTube.
Oh, not YouTube. Why am I thinking YouTube? Twitter.
Oh, yes, we do have a Twitter. I don't know how active it is yet because one of our young people is in charge of it. We're going to get the password. But, so yeah, you can add us, tweet us. What do you do on Twitter? Do you at people or do you tweet at people?
You add people you tweet at.
Is that what you do?
I guess.
I don't know. We're going to figure it out. We're going to learn technology.
I had it for a while. Guiltily, I will say it was during the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial.
I think so many people probably did the same.
It's volatile.
People are mean on Twitter.
Man, it's vicious. It's hateful. Like, I had to delete it. Honestly.
Toxic, right?
It's, oh my God, like,
you've got to find the right community to
I
be
was
in.
just like, how the hell is this worse than Facebook? But it's pretty out there. No shame in no one's game, no fucks given on Twitter. It wasn't for me because it was too hateful, and I'm a pop off. And we don't need D popping off.
No, not at all.
Your husband.
Yeah. It's okay, we'll go ahead and close it out.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. Bye.